Did I or did I not say that the result between the John Moraga and Chris Cariacio match totally depended on whether Moraga could get the submission or not? And I said that I thought the safe bet was probably Cariaso because just of higher calibers, and that was reflected through rounds 1 and 2. But in round 3, he got the submission. So well done to him. But I did specifically say it was all about whether he could get that submission or not. Did I or did I not say that the Max Holloway and the Leonard Garcia match would end in a split decision? It did. Although I have to say, it went the other way. The split decision actually went to Max Holloway, which I thought that Leonard Garcia would win the split decision. I'm not sure how I feel about the third round there. I'm still not sure who I think won that third round, and therefore I don't know. I don't know. But I did say it would be a split decision. You know, this is the second match that I've sort of called correctly-ish, but not actually in who won, just the sort of manoeuvre. You know, Miles Jury didn't quite get the submission, but the choke was definitely on his mind. I would say all the way through round 1 and at least part of the way through round 3, because Johnson was sort of giving up his back quite a lot of the time, and it was heading that way. Probably would have headed that way in the first had it not been at the end of the round prior to the submission there. You know, he won eventually by decision, but I have to say that I think that what's his name? The other one, not Jury, the other one, Johnson did quite well to not be finished in that. So yeah, pretty much what I thought would happen, a sort of smushing of Johnson one way or the other. My gamble with Philip DeFries did not pay off. Todd Duffy did exactly what the mainstay of people probably have predicted and got a first round TKO. At least I do recognise though that it was a gamble, and I did say in my predictions video that that would be, you know, the other method if... Yes, I'm am I clutching at straws? This card was typified by split decisions. You know, there was a split decision with Eddie Wineland beating Brad Pickett, as I thought. The best round, possibly the first round there, where I thought that Wineland might have had the opportunity to finish had he been a bit quicker when he sort of caught Brad Pickett early in the round there, but he didn't. And again, the split decision with Jamie Varner, you know, I'm not sure how I feel about that one either, really, because Jamie Varner did the low blow in the second, and yet still wins a split decision. Melvin Guillard didn't get stuck in a choke there. So if there was a damp squib on the card, it was Alan Belcher, who I thought would do so much better against Yoshin Okami on the feet. He lost a decision, and it wasn't a split decision there. So what did pay off in my predictions was the almost random guesswork that Eric Perez would beat Byron Bloodworth. He did, and he did it very, very quickly in the first round. It was a TKO at the end. Standard for submissions in the lower divisions. still stands. Miller managed to win, although I have to say, not by submission. It was a decision win in the end. This fight was very exciting. There were lots and lots of submission attempts, but it was also far more on the feet than I thought it would be. I thought this would be, 90% ground war, and part of me wishes that it had been as well, just to see, maybe in a pure grappling match, who would have won by submission. But as it was, Miller won the decision, and it wasn't a split decision. So there we are. The other damp squib of the card, unfortunately, when we got to striking, was Tim Boach, who lost in the third by TKO. The rematch didn't go anywhere, nothing like we thought it would. For a start, it went all the way to the 5th round. And Junior Dos Santos did nothing to win any of the rounds. In fact, his biggest sort of success in this bout was to hold on as long as he did. He just gets beaten up, basically, and there were times when Cain was basically on his back. There were times when various bits of his body were sort of swelling up and sort of stuff like that, because he had been just sort of smashed around like a rag doll, really. I refuse to believe, however, that the first meeting was a complete fluke, because of the fact that Dos Santos was able to defend his crown since that sort of, I don't know whether it was a 4-second knockout or something like that. It was very, very quick. What I do think it proves is that, he may have got sort of slightly lucky with the first win. The heavyweight crown is known for not sticking with the same person for very long. So yes, an absolutely shocking end to his reign, and we'll see whether Cain can carry on like that in his defences. My man of the card is in fact going to be Derek Brunson. He fought Chris Lieben and he won by decision. It wasn't a split decision, and it was well earned, considering he was also the receiver of a low blow in the third. It was some sort of illegal strike. He won all 3 rounds, and in a way you shouldn't be surprised. He did come, as I said, from a high caliber camp, but his record certainly didn't show that he would have this sort of effect. There are people, no doubt, who will say that it was all due to ring rust for Chris Lieben, but I don't know. I don't know if I'd say that was true at all. Certainly, I think this was quite a big surprise to me. This was the one I said could be considered a smush match. Well, evidently not. So Derek Brunson will get my Fighter of the Card award. Please remember, though, that this particular fighter of the card award will not be entered into the next year for Fighter of the Year. This is purely just a celebration for being what I think the best fighter on the card of this particular event.
When your day is long and the night